been a lot going on in the past couple of sessions. I mean, Stavios was kidnapped and had a particularly bad time plugged into a nightmare simulation that the only way that they could get out was to kill the one they loved most in the world before they got killed.
But then I killed my dad.
Yeah, that was fun. And while there was no way for the Opal Star to trace where the Chaos Gremlin had been kidnapped off to, Vi and Anima just had to kind of ride along. You got to Nova Station, got a lot of answers. Anima's not particularly happy with most of those answers. But you were eventually able to find the last place you remember being. And you know where that is now. And then you went in, rescued Stavios, had to go into the sim dive to break them out of the simulation, learn some things about their past that made you feel a little uncomfortable to learn, because that's not how you particularly wanted to learn those things. Tali did some fancy hacking, so instead of having to kill Fulminara, you got to kill Stavios' dad. So that was very therapeutic.
Also took a little, I think I remember us also just like, we all kept struggling to finally land the killing blow. It was like every time we hit him, we got him just a little bit almost there. And I just remember being like, he's not gonna go. We transformed it and he's not gonna go.
And then Anima punched him in the face after you flattened his head with push. Which, it turned into a 2D rendering of his head. Because the game was starting to fall apart between your actions and Tali's hacking on the outside. And since then, Stavios, you've gotten some medical treatment. You have gotten to snuggle the very fluffy cat that purrs kind of like a chainsaw. It's a very happy kitty.
We have a cat?
Yes, but...
Yeah, there's a cat on the ship. You have never seen it before. I don't think either of you know that there's a cat and stuff. Tali just came in with the bag and said, "Can you keep a secret?" And the secret was a cat.
So we may have come in after Tali left, but still. I think I asked Nell, and Nell was like, "Cats are very good at keeping rats out of the ship." And I'm like, okay then.
Oh, yeah. So at least Vi knows about the cat.
Does the cat have a name?
I don't know. What is the cat's
secret?
name? I'll let you name the cat.
Okay.
Oh, that would be so funny. Having a secret cat.
If Stavios gets to name the cat, then the name has to be the stupidest name that you've ever heard a cat have.
I'm not necessarily letting Stavios name the cat. I'm asking you, Shan, what the cat's name is.
Okay, well, if I get to name the cat, then it's gotta be the stupidest name that the cat could possibly have.
Can you top Freddy Meowcree?
So, I binge listened to this audio drama called Valence, which is really good. You should go listen to it. And at one point, the main character adopts a cat named Soap.
That's a great cat name.
It is.
I've also seen Meatloaf.
I'm gonna name the cat Bike Chain.
Bike chain?
Bike Chain.
The cat came with the name.
Future bikes, they have these specific internal chain mechanisms that help them go. It's not a reference to human bike chains, because I don't even know what humans are, basically. It's a different kind of bike chain. It's just similar.
Okay. I think you have seen humans before. Because there are humans in the Alliance.
I've seen humans before, but I don't know anything about humans their home.
Yeah, you can't eat lettuce from there.
Yes, you mentioned earth lettuce, and Vi almost.
Oh, yeah.
Vi was almost ready to throw down until explained what was going on.
Yeah, it's the two primarily human planets in Alliance space are Aphrodite and Hephaestus, and they're kind of sister planets, but the way they rotate around, they can always see each other. But they're also far enough away that it doesn't like mess up things for people living on either planet.
Okay, but they can you can see it like from the ground. You can be like, oh, there's Hephaestus, or there's Aphrodite. Yeah. Okay, cool.
That's really, I like that a lot.
Yeah.
They orbit in tandem, and they're always within sight of each other. And as you are heading to this mystery station that I know I gave a name to, but I cannot remember it right now, there's like the emergency location code. So if like something happens, they say would be able to send out, hey, station blah blah blah. Insert station name here. You're gradually heading that way. Via an anima, you get the feeling Spectre might be taking a slightly more roundabout way to give Stavios more time to decompress and come to terms with what's actually real. After you went through like 40-something times. You went through your memories and died 43 different times before they broke you out?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, I think it was gonna be like 80-something. I was like, no. We're not doing permanent damage here.
That is a little bit too much. That's a little bit too broken.
I think the thing that probably is staying with Stavios beyond just like the mental image of the love of their life, you know, killing them, is the fact that like they felt like they were dying each time. So like the psychological scarring of being like supposedly inches from death. And I feel like every time they try to like nap or go to sleep or they start to lose consciousness, it like triggers their body in a certain way, and so they're not sleeping very well. Like that's the biggest part. Like they slept when they got back because they hadn't really, their brain hadn't deactivated at all, so they had been basically awake that entire time. But now that they're awake and their memories are like kind of reprocessing and they're kind of understanding the world around them, again, it's more like the ghost pains of all of that are setting in their body, and they're trying to like figure out how to sort of live with that new reality because it's not like they're gonna go away anytime soon.
Yeah, Tully did give you something that's akin to a white noise generator, but it like interacts with the part of the brain where actual memories are stored versus the part of the brain that like the sim dive interacts with. So those memories are still there, but that helps. It feels a little bit less real, but it's still there, and it is going to take time. Tully still has one that she still uses, and it's been a minute since she went through the stuff at Beacon. She doesn't have to use it as often, but she still has one. But one thing that she does share with you, Stavios, that helps among many, many other things is... So, fun fact, there's a reason there aren't a lot of cats in simulations, and the reason that cats don't usually, like, crawl up on you like this one does is because they haven't figured out how to program in the sensation of cat purring while it lays on you. Also, most of cats in simulations don't act like normal cats because they can't kind of no one can figure out how to get a simulation cat to act like a cat because cats are weird little assholes. She is this never-ending fount of information on everything to do with simulations and how they work and how to tell something's a simulation or not. If there's a fact to be known, she probably knows it. It makes sense. She spent a lot of time studying it. She probably doesn't ask you a lot of questions about what you went through, but she just talks.
Yeah, I think I'm like passively listening, but whenever we're like talking, whenever I'm talking with anybody, really, it's like I'm half there for the conversation on like a surface level, but then my brain is just going off on like either a memory channel or I'm thinking of how exactly, like, where my dad could be and how exactly I'm going to find a way to, like, essentially break him down to the point where me killing him will be a blessing.
What's everyone else up to? What do you all do over the... I'll say it's probably like 2 or 3 days Spectra's taking to get to the station. Anima and Vi, you have a bit to catch Stavios up on. All the fun things you've learned at Nova Station.
I'm trying to figure out what Vi would do. She would definitely be helping Stavios with the plan to get rid of their father and be like, how many years do you want this to go? Do you want it like a few months? 1 year? 5 year? 10 year? We could even do 50 years if you really want him. But she's also like letting them have their space just to rest if they want it. She doesn't want to accidentally make things worse.
Stop in after lunch. Casually plot murder.
Comes in. Stavios is working on the Murder Friends Forever banner.
Stavios. That can be used as evidence.
It's just gonna be in my room. Don't worry about it.
You know what warrants are, right?
Yeah, they're those things you can pay people to throw away.
Okay, maybe just do initials. Make them work a bit for it.
You just hear a very quiet voice from Nell. I am uncomfortable with this conversation.
I will say, in terms of just planning stuff, I think it's still, like... I think Stavios is definitely in the, like, fantasy phase of it, and not, like, not doing anything super serious yet. So, like, anytime you come at them with questions, they're kind of, like... They haven't logistically thought anything out. They're more just, like...
Okay.
Kind of like, oh, they'll like go into the nitty gritty detail of what they're going to do when they see their father, but they have not talked about how they're going to find their father, how they're going to, how they're going to get that close to him.
Yeah. By just being like, okay, I approve, but you're about 10 steps in, at least.
Question: how many of those deaths are similar to what you went through in the simulation?
They are all the same deaths that I went through in the simulation. Except for the slow ones, like the poisonings and stuff like that. It's not that. It's more the, like, quote-unquote violent ones, or the very sudden, like, stabs in the stomach. I'm just, like, thinking about those, and then thinking about them happening to my dad.
Or like that first one where you got shot in the head and didn't hear the gunshot. You were just dead.
Yeah. And then I'd probably just be like, oh yeah. Then when you like try to bring me down to reality, I'm just like, yeah, sure, whatever. And then I go back to my room and I shut my door.
Stavios' plan is murder, profit.
Yeah.
You go back to your room, you see Nell has several more suggestions for therapists you can meet with.
Can't afford these, I don't have the insurance, and then I just sort of swipe them away.
They don't go away.
They are all free. It's fine.
These are all friends of the crew and offer free services. Please choose one.
I'll do that, and just...
I have taken care to select people who are very discreet and have no connections to your father.
Do any of them have, like, a criminal history?
Define criminal.
A violent one?
Define violent.
They have killed people in cold blood?
Like, for revenge, or?
For
Okay,
revenge, profit.
You are looking for the therapist, not an assassin.
You already have that.
Don't see why those have to be mutually exclusive.
Have you met Vi?
I am not at this moment in time helping you find an assassin.
I'm not asking. Well, I'm asking you to find me a therapist with a very specific background. I don't see why that's so strange. Is it too much to ask for a therapist to have a violent, bloody background?
Surprisingly, yes.
All
If
right,
any of these do, they have taken great care to hide it.
fine. Just give me the one that like looks the coolest, I guess.
Define cool.
I don't know how to do that now. It's a vibe. It's not something that's definable. Okay, how about this? I want you to look at their, like, I guess, personality profile and find which one you think best matches my general energy.
Okay, I will do so and set up introductory appointments.
Great. Now I'm going to do something that you're probably not going to like, so can I have some privacy?
I really don't want to know.
Okay, bye.
It's just like, just the mental image of Nell, just nope. So, what's Anima up to?
So remember all those knocked out people that we just like shoved into cabinets? What did we do with them?
They're on the Goliath.
They're on the Goliath.
They're on the Goliath and they've been handed over to the Alliance.
Okay, did we take their cool suits?
Let's see. High or low?
Oh shit. Low.
You did. You may not have gotten all of them because there were several people that you knocked out and had shoved into compartments in the wall on the ship. But I'll say you've got like 3 or 4 sets.
Okay.
Mechanics-wise, I have no idea what kind of armor that would be, so if you would like to wear it, I will have to go and figure out what kind of armor you got.
I actually would like to take it to... Would this be Tally or Lex? I would like to try and reverse engineer the technology.
That would be Lex.
Okay. I've not talked to Lex much, so I'm going to kind of approach and like stare at the door with like these suits over my arms. And then like kind of walk away and then come back and knock before I can talk myself out of it again.
You knock, and there is a pause before the door opens, and you see Lex was like in the process of putting the robot arms on. So he's got like one on one side and the other is still like getting situated. Yes, can I help you with something? As he's fiddling and like the one arm that's on is like assisting with getting the other arm situated.
So I think it might be useful, generally, to know 2 things. Both how to make it and how it works, to see if we can't make workarounds to detect the technology in these.
Ooh. He grabs them with his actual, like, he grabs one set with his actual hands, the other set with his robot hands. Oh, yes, that would certainly be good to have, and I've been wanting to get my hands on some of these forever. It's not often I get to work with prototype tech from Reich like this. Aside from Nell, of course. Because Nell was a prototype like 100 years ago. I could certainly find a way to reverse and figure out how to keep an eye out for these and potentially find other uses for the technology in these. I mean, there's enough suits that I could make I have options for things that I could make, or if anyone would like to use one. I know there is at least one in your group who is sneaky.
Would you like any help? I'm not necessarily a scientist, but I'm a pretty good lab tech.
Of course. If you'd like to help. Walks over to the table and he spreads them out. Pulls out a bunch of different tools and starts examining them closely. And would you like to, as you are starting to look over these, would you like to roll mechanics?
I don't think I'm very good at mechanics, but I sure can try. 8.
I'll say you aren't able to help much, but as he's working, Lex, it's almost like he forgets you're there. But occasionally he'll ask for something and you'll be able to... You can find the right thing to hand to him as he is attempting to study these suits, but at least for right now, not able to gather much information about them yourself.
I wasn't really expecting to.
That's fair.
Anima's a himbo, but with good ideas sometimes.
Fair. I'll say you're probably vaguely aware that the rest of your party is in a murderous mood if you would like to go talk to people.
I mean, technically, you could even try to distract us temporarily from the murder plans.
Well,
Yeah, if you want to.
previously established, Anima doesn't necessarily need a full night's sleep to be fully rested. So I would like to ask Nell
Yes.
and Stavias to ping me if they're having trouble sleeping.
You do get a notification pretty much that first night after their initial just pass out and sleep for like 12 hours. It is as I expected. They are having trouble remaining asleep.
So when I get that ping, I would like to go over there, knock, and then if they let me in, I'd like to go in and try and help them fall asleep by telling them stories and playing with their hair.
Yeah, I would say that when Stavias hears the knock, they tell Nell that Nell can open the door, because I don't think they're getting out of bed, because I think they're like really freaked out. So yeah, they're kind of in bed, and they've got their hands gripping and ungripping the sheets, and you can see that they're also doing their best to feel the fabric and just take breaths and remind themselves what kind of I guess reality feels like, because what's essentially just happened is they've had like a moment where they thought that they were dying again. So they're just like trying to convince themselves that nothing's reset and that everything is fine and that they're fine and they're on the Opal Star, and just that they're just trying to go through all of these things because they know very little about anything having to do with mental health in general, but they know like things that their mom used to do for them and things that Fulminara used to do for them when they would get really stressed. So they're trying to like redo those things. They're just not totally working. And that's what you walk in on when you see them. And
Bike Chain is curled up on their stomach. You can hear the purring, and as you see Bike Chain is also like baking biscuits out the side of Stavia's stomach. Just an extra little thing to help ground. So you just feel the little paws making biscuits on your side.
Remind me, does Stavias have really long hair? Like Anima? Or is it shorter?
Yeah, Stavias has long hair.
Okay.
I think let me check my picture.
I think everyone in the party has long hair.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I have long hair.
Yeah.
That's what I was
You
thinking.
do.
But I couldn't remember exactly. So I'm going to come in, and I'm going to... There's desks, like, in each room with a chair, right? So I'm going to pull up the chair
Yes.
next to the bed.
Mhm.
I'm going to, ask them, would it help if I braided your hair?
They don't say anything verbally, but they do shift in bed until they're sitting up, and then you see them just kind of scooch to the edge so that their hair, which is really, it's a mess. Like, it is a, like, wild nest of, like, you're definitely gonna have to comb it before you braid it, because
Sure.
it's messed up. But they do that, and then they just kind of look back and they, like, nod.
The cat is now, like, slid down into your lap, has not stopped purring, and is now doing biscuits on your leg.
Okay, so I'm going to guess that there is hair care stuff in your room. Like, I don't want to go and get mine, because that's weird.
Oh,
There absolutely is.
Yeah. I'm probably going to pick out, like a pick comb. I think that's what would work best. And I'm going to start at the bottom, and as gently as I possibly can, I'm just start picking out knots.
even though, like, parts of it hurt because ow, each time you do it, there is, like, you do see that their body tenses less. It's almost like every time you do it, it kind of just, even though it does hurt a little bit, there's also some relief there, and it's also kind of further grounding them in this moment.
You know, when I was younger, I don't necessarily think I was ever little, but when I was younger, my hair used to get like this too. That's why I started braiding it. It was easier that way.
My father thought braids were tacky and would never let me wear braids. So I've never had my hair braided before.
Your father sounds like an inconvenient prick.
Understatement, but true.
I'm sure. It was one of the teachers at the school who taught me how to braid. And I can't remember their name, but I think that they could see that I didn't really know how to take care of my hair. And it's different for everyone. Some retain different things from their donors' lives, and some don't. And isn't that weird? Like, my donor was a scientist, but I'm not particularly smart, and I'm not really good at science. So sometimes it feels like the only thing I got from them was my hair. Dottie would tell me I'm a lot like her, but I guess Dottie would know best. But the only thing I know about them is her research notes and the video that she left for me. So I guess I can't see it. Not like someone outside who is very close to them would.
If it's any consolation, I think you're vastly more intelligent than you think you are.
Stop. No. No consoling me. This is me consoling you. Shut up.
I feel like it should probably be like a quid pro quo thing. I think you've also gone through something recently as well, but I wasn't there, so I don't know. But I was almost there, and I could see that things were bothering you too.
I can tell you about them, if you're okay.
Yes. It helps to not be so focused on myself. At least in this instance.
So, 5 years ago, I left my family with Dottie to go on a research mission where I was both bodyguard and pseudo lab tech with her. And we were supposed to be doing this research mission with Nova Station. That was who the contract was with. But apparently, we were, I don't remember the terminology, poached, I guess? Someone pretending to be Nova Station picked us up instead and brought us to a fake location. And I'm not sure what happened there, or what we were researching, or memories of my time there are fuzzy at best and completely gone at worst. But somehow it ended up with Dottie and I separated, and I ended up outside of Alliance space.
You don't know how you got there?
Nope, I don't remember. But I was there for 5 years. And they're not kind to their Ashenforged.
So I've heard.
So for around 5 years or so, I wasn't a person. I was a thing. And I couldn't remember any different. So for a very long time, I believed that. Not fully, but what else could I be? It's just what they were. Why would I be different? Except I was.
I think Stavios, hearing you say that you were a thing, that does cause Stavios to like react a little bit, and like while you're in the middle of doing something, they turn around and like they face you as best they can, and they're just like, regardless of how they treated you, you were more than a thing. Regardless of how much people choose to take away our autonomy, we still have it. It just gets suppressed. And we don't know each other super well. I think this is the longest conversation we've ever had. But I know what things are. And I can't imagine you ever being just a thing.
Aboard the Opal Star is an Esper Genesis 5e actual play podcast DM'd and produced by Brianna Toiber as part of Pseudonym Social, a creative podcast network.
I'm Casey, and I'm playing Anima the Ashenforged.
Victor, and I'm playing Farida the Promethean.
My name's Alexis, and I am playing Vilena Sorel, the Eldori.
Music is by Patrick Chester of Chester Studios. To see more of his work, visit his website at chesterstudios.net. Find out more about Pseudonym Social by visiting our website at pseudonymsocial.wordpress.com. If you like what we're doing and would like to support us, please consider leaving a review or donating to our Patreon at patreon.com/pseudonymsocial.